come about?
Yeah, when I was a young kid, my mom would always say I love to argue. And so naturally, I found that if I was going to make a living, why not do what my mom told me I did best, which was argue. And so ultimately, I became an attorney at the suggestion of my mother and others to become an attorney to argue for a living. Yes, it's fun. It's enjoyable because you get to have a lot of different ideas thrown around. You have to think on your feet. You have to be ready to give an answer at any time. And also, there is a certain professional atmosphere in the world of law that attorneys respect each other, but also, even if we disagree, there's always a mutual respect there. And so I've always enjoyed the professional engagement with other attorneys and talking about differences on the view of law and what that looks like. So it's always a healthy exchange, but it's always combative and adversarial for the sake of our clients. One of the things that, as an attorney to a client who's never been through this process, and I get asked this a lot, is what should I expect out of this process? And one of the things that I often say to them is just be honest. Throughout this entire process, be honest with me as your attorney. Nothing you say to me will ever go outside of this room or go outside of this firm. That is our confidentiality between the client and also the attorney. So first and foremost, it's a sense of honesty, being honest with me so I can preserve that honesty with them and can go throughout the case, being transparent with each other. That helps the case out. It helps me understand their background. There may be something they don't want to disclose to anyone else, but they can disclose it to me because I can't tell anyone else about that. When I got out of law school, I had the privilege of working at a personal injury firm, and I gained a lot of experience there, but one of the places I always wanted to work was actually Farah Farah. And the reason being is that at Farah Farah, there's essentially a brain trust of personal injury attorneys here. We have some very experienced senior litigation attorneys here that have been here for quite a while, and they know how this process works. They know when the case needs to go to trial, and they know when the client needs to get their day in court and make sure their day is vindicated. And so one of the reasons why I came to Farah Farah was simply the amount of experience that's here at this firm. Also, just the amount of support. It sounds cliche, but Farah Farah is like a family. I can go to any of my colleagues anytime, at any day, ask them any question about any case, and they're more than willing to work with me, more than willing to advise me, more than willing to mentor me in any way possible. It's a great environment for a young attorney such as myself, but it's also a great environment for clients because we're very accessible, I'm very open. Most of my clients have my cell phone number. They call me at night, they text me when they have issues, and I'm there to talk to them. That only is possible because of the structure that Farah Farah provides to their attorneys. I have the flexibility because of how Chuck and Eddie has set up the structure within the firm. And so I'm allowed to talk to my clients anytime they need me to. And so that allows me to therefore interact with my clients the way they deserve. There was a case where I had a client who was a veteran for our country, one of the nicest clients I've ever had, respected individual, and he came to me out of options. He had went to 2 other firms, and those firms looked at his case and they simply turned him down for his case. And when I met him, I instinctively knew that this client, what he was telling me, was true and accurate. We did a deposition of the at-fault driver, and ultimately in that deposition, I had her admit that she did cause the accident, that she could have done more things to have avoided that accident occurring, and ultimately showed my client did nothing to have caused the accident. And so the case settled for $290,000 at the end of the day. And so my client was obviously joyful to see the response, the fact that I think his expectations were his case wasn't worth anything. 2 other firms that told him your case wasn't worth anything. But however, we were of a different opinion. We believed him, and at the end of the day, we pursued forward with the case, and he has now been fully compensated for his injuries as a result of that accident.